Do you know how the cases between the prince and the princess in a kingdom in Uganda are sorted? How they are solved? Do you know why the judge, the one that takes charge of that case, does so? How did they get appointed? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My beautiful name is Maria Nabukeera, and if this is the first time you're coming, thank you so very much. I'm humbled to have you. If you see our folder, it's most definitely the Thrilling Tales Corner with me, Maria, and I'm glad and humbled to have you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always coming back, my returning subscribers. I love you so much. I'm humbled, and I have not words enough to explain how grateful I feel, how grateful I am, how glad I am. I don't have enough words to say. Imagine, I don't even know how to appreciate you, but you have loved me so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for sticking around. Even this day, we have a beautiful tale that we are going to go through, and buckle up. Just get your cup of tea. Just get something that you enjoy as you listen to this beautiful story that we get into at this very moment with me, Maria Nabukeera, about the sheep and the dead child. So let's get into it. So once upon a time, a man called Lonzi went into the forest to cut firewood, and he came back with a log and stood it against a banana tree, which is a silly thing to do, for a banana tree is weak, and the log was very heavy. A child was sitting in the garden, and near was a sheep, tethered to a stake in the ground. But Lunzi noticed none of these things, as he was very tired, and he went into his house to sleep. Just then, some hunters with their dogs came out of the jungle. The dogs frightened the sheep, and the sheep jumped away. The rope snapped and the sheep fell against the log, and the log fell on the child and killed it. There was a great noise, everyone talking at once and giving his or her version of what had happened. And Lunzi came out of his house very angry indeed because of the great noise as he was sleeping. Then the neighbors came up, and there was a great discussion of who to blame for what had happened and how the child's death had occurred. Some said it was Lunzi's fault, and some said the owner of the sheep was to blame. But some said the hunters with their dogs frightened the sheep and made it fall against the log, which killed the child. They could not come to any conclusion, so they decided to go to Mengo and let the king's council settle the case and punish the man who was to blame. So they all set off for Mengo, where the king lives till now, and on the way they rested in a garden during the heat of the day, and there they found a little boy eating marrows, which is called ensuju. And they asked the boy and the boy asked them where they were going and why they were all so excited. They told him about what had happened and how they were going to the king's council to have it settled. And the boy said, I know what I should do if I were the judge. I should settle it very quickly. They laughed at it, and the little boy was left there. They went on their journey, leaving him in the garden eating his ensuju. When they arrived at the king's council and the chiefs were assembled, they told the story again, but no one could decide who was to blame. First they said, Lunzi is to blame. But he said, my lords, if no one had touched the log, it would not have killed the child. So they said, okay, the sheep is to blame. But the owner of the sheep said, my lords, if the dogs had not frightened the sheep, it would not have battered the log, which fell and killed the child. So they said, okay, the dogs are to blame. But the hunter said, my lords, If the log had not been there, the sheep would not have battled it and the child would not have been killed. So they were all confused. They went back and forth and in the beginning again. Then Donzi said, on our way here, we rested in a garden. And there we found a little boy eating Kasujja. And he said he knew how to decide this case. So the king sent the messengers and they brought the little boy into his council hall. Then the Katikiro, who is the chief, the most high chief, asked him who he was and where he came from. And they told him why the king had sent for him. The little boy knelt down, held up his head and also his hands and counted his points of the fingers with the right hand, beginning with the little finger, and said, the law says, a life for a life. A log has killed the child, therefore burn the log. The sheep has caused the burning of the log, therefore kill the sheep. The dog caused the death of the sheep, therefore kill the dogs. The case was finished, and that is what he said. The chiefs were very pleased with the wisdom of the little boy, and the king made him a chief and gave him a title of Kasujja, which means a little marrow, and said he should decide all cases between king's children, and his children should have the chieftainship after him forever. And now, in Uganda, if there's any quarrel between the prince or the princess, it is not taken to the king's council to be settled, but the chief Kasujja hears the case and his word is law. It is final. Now you know how Kasujja came to be the one that passes the verdict when the prince and the princess have any issues. Thank you so much for watching up this far. My name is Maria Nabukeera. Like I said, kindly consider subscribing, liking, and sharing the video. Consider leaving a comment as you get to leave. I love you so much and God bless you. Maria Nabukeera is my name. See you.